is your first time, I hope you'll stay. So this video is for GCSE Spanish students, and we are going to be looking today at the changes that are brand new to this year, 2026. So we're going to go through the changes that have come about for the whole entire paper. Okay, let's get into it. As you know, right, I absolutely love to talk. You tell me that all the time. So let's start with the speaking section. So the speaking is focused primarily on how spontaneous you are. What is fundamental here is communication, getting your idea across well, and how confidently you do that. Now, massive change in the role play section. Prior to this year, the instructions were given in Spanish. So this year, 2026, your instructions are going to be in English, which means your life is much easier because there's room for less confusion. Amazing, right? So that's a good thing for us. But the biggest thing, perhaps, is that here you are now required to read out aloud a short passage in Spanish where your pronunciation will be marked. So you can practice this with a classmate whenever you want, and practice this by reading out a passage from a text, either from your book or from online, and get the other person to write it down. That will determine if you're pronouncing right or not, and words you need to focus on. You can practice all of this stuff, and I keep reiterating that fact because it's true. Right, that is it for the speaking. Now, the listening is perhaps where there's a bigger change. So, section A has the traditional listening questions, and section B is now a dictation. So, the dictation is brand new this year. You are given a piece to listen to, and what you have to do is write down exactly what you hear. So you do not translate from Spanish to English. No, you're merely writing down exactly what you hear to test your listening skills. They're roughly around 28 to 30 words long, and so it's not very long at all. This is for higher tier. Foundation will be slightly slightly shorter. You will be given a mark for each word you spell correctly. So imagine you can pick up 30 points if you get all 30 words correct. Again, you can practice this with a classmate. You can practice doing this at home. In fact, after I've finished explaining, I'm going to leave you some dictations, and you can write down below what you heard. Good practice, right? Put it all into practice today. So yeah, that's the biggest thing. Section A is now a dictation that you have to listen to in Spanish, writing down exactly what you hear in Spanish, not in English. Okay, it's not a translation, it's just a listening exercise. So that's nice and easy for you, I think. Okay, we did not have that prior to this year, so that is very important for you to remember and bear in mind. The writing task gives you a lot more structure, it's a lot more predictable, so you'll be able to navigate that much better, I feel, in this new format. The whole point of this is that we're trying to reduce that need for memorizing essays, because that's not really testing your abilities, is it? If you haven't to memorize it, we really want to see how you can do by giving you the prompts so you are able to complete the tasks. Vocabulary. Vocabulary is important, and it is the same throughout the whole paper, so all sections is the same. We are now focusing more on high frequency words rather than that vast vocabulary list that you had in previous years that you had to try and revise and memorize and study. Now it's more focused on words that are more related to the topic and that you're going to be hearing in everyday Spanish. Okay, so that's good news as well. I'll give you an example of a high frequency word. Imagine you're doing family. A high frequency word in Spanish would be things like the members of the family, los padres, parents, hermanos, brothers and sisters, hermana, verbs like tener, haber, ser, visitar, cocinar, things like that we would normally link and use to talk about family in any language really, okay? So common words that we hear every day. That's what we mean when we say high frequency words, okay? Fantastic, moving on. So in the reading, again, they're really going to be looking for how well you're understanding those very common words. For the reading, you're really going to be seeing realistic texts taken from the real world. So not texts made up just for the exam, but a text taken from something that we could find in everyday life. Something that's real, maybe from a newspaper article or an email, but something that really is available to everyone. It's real life, it's not made up. And again, we're going to be seeing high frequency vocabulary all through things like these very realistic texts, okay? The tasks are designed to be a lot more approachable while testing your comprehension. So they're trying to make things easier for you while extracting all the knowledge that you have up there. Okay, so it's not designed to make things harder for you, but to take the pressure off a little bit. Okay, so that is... So the old GCSE, there was no dictation. Now there is a dictation in the speaking and in the listening. Reading, obviously there's no dictation in the old GCSE, and now you have to read out loud. Okay, old GCSE, the instructions for the role play was in Spanish. The new GCSE this year, all the instructions are in English. Before, in prior years, the vocabulary that we had to cover was a long database of lots of words. This year, we see that it's more focused on high frequency words that we're going to be hearing every day for each topic. So previously the exam was very much focused on grammar, grammatical structure, and I'm not saying that you have to forget that this year, no. But the aim is now communication. It's how well you get your ideas across. After all, language learning is about communication. How well are you doing that? Okay? Bear those things in mind. Remember, as with any listening, you will hear the dictation in the listening part twice, and that should give you enough time to write down everything you hear. Now, I'm going to do an example for you where I'm going to read in my English accent, and we'll also have a native person doing it as well. Okay? So, to sum it all up, 2026. The Spanish exam is focused more on high frequency vocabulary. There's now a speaking dictation and a listening dictation, and there's more of a focus on communication rather than grammar. And to make things easier for you, obviously you have some instructions in the speaking section in English. Okay, let's go and listen to the dictation and let me know how you're going to hear the recording twice. But we're cheating because you're going to hear it with the native Spanish person first, and I'll follow with my English Spanish accent. Okay, so let us begin.
En mi familia intentamos cenar juntos cada noche, aunque todos tengamos horarios diferentes. Para nosotros es un momento importante para hablar, apoyarnos y resolver pequeños problemas.
En mi familia intentamos cenar juntos cada noche, aunque todos tengamos horarios diferentes. Para nosotros es un momento importante para hablar, apoyarnos y resolver pequeños problemas. That was from the topic of family. So, 30 words long, so you will get 30 points for every word you get correctly, so you spell correctly. So the next word, the next dictation is from future jobs and studies. 30 words long.
En el futuro quiero estudiar ingeniería. porque me interesa resolver problemas reales. También espero trabajar en un proyecto internacional que me permita viajar y aprender de otras culturas.
En el futuro quiero estudiar ingeniería porque me interesa resolver problemas reales. También espero trabajar en un proyecto internacional que me permita viajar y aprender de otras culturas. Also 30 words long, the following, which is your topic, environment and climate change.
Mucha gente piensa que reciclar es suficiente, pero yo creo que debemos cambiar nuestros hábitos diarios. Si todos redujéramos el consumo de energía, el impacto ambiental sería mucho menor.
Mucha gente piensa que reciclar es suficiente, pero yo creo que debemos cambiar nuestros hábitos diarios. Si todos redujéramos el consumo de energía, el impacto ambiental sería mucho menos. If you would like to practice your reading dictation, do that with a classmate and see how well they understand everything you've spoken. They are able to write everything down accurately. You're well on your way to a grade 9 in Spanish. Good luck, and I will see you in the next video. Bye. Muchas gracias.